Hello, this is Bill Clodsey. Welcome to a Legacy Cube Draft 8-player pod. This event will be single elimination. Now let's see what we have here. These powerful formats are basically a dance between consistency and power. Talking about fixing, that helps you get consistent, stuff you want to do, or focusing in on one color, that'll make your deck pretty consistent. Then the powerful stuff, the most interesting things you can do are sort of these 2-card combos that win on their own, or just a giant threat that you can cheat into play somehow or ramp towards. But yeah, we're looking for like the best things we can do in any of those strategies. Lightning Bolt, definitely one of the better things in a mono red deck. Mother of Runes is very nice in mono white, both aggressive decks, and then we have a fetch land and a dual land. Both of those are really awesome. I'm going to start here with Misty Rainforest. I want to get away from Bolt and Mother of Runes here and maybe do something more powerful than just a typical white weenie deck. And if that strategy is really open, something like the Mother of Runes could wheel. Kind of unlikely, but certainly possible. I don't see any big payoffs here, like the most powerful of the powerful cards. Gear Hulk is just a big creature. It's not that exciting. A couple more pieces of ramp here. Prismatic Lens, Cold Steel Heart. Those are both fine. Overgrown Tomb, I might just start with that here. Another Sultai deck, but it is fetchable by Misty Rainforest, and the nice part there is that now we have a fetch that fixes for 3 colors because it can get an island as well. So nice interplay there. Yeah, let's just take that. It is such a fast format that the extra life you might need to pay to get a turn 1 black source shouldn't really hurt you that much unless you are against one of the most aggressive decks. Oh yes. Elvish Mystic, very good, and Natural Order. Getting this early could be a nice reason to build around it. So you just need 1 green creature in play, maybe a little ramp creature, sacrifice it to get whatever bomb you have in your deck. We don't have either of those components yet, but they should be easy enough to pick up. And the rest of this is mid-range stuff that I generally avoid. Scarab God, turns out it's pretty good. Stoneforge Mystic is another combo type card, but right now our fixing is better towards the Natural Order. Craterhoof Behemoth, that is definitely one way to easily win the game. It comes in with haste, all of your other creatures get bigger. Verdant Catacombs is another really good one here, depending on what we're actually doing. And since we could kind of do something more interesting, I'm going to grab the land here again. I really do like Craterhoof Behemoth. It does require having a couple creatures in play to be any good, but there's a point where you just need 3 or 4 creatures in play and it will win that turn. Not bad defined with Natural Order, but I'm going to go with the Catacombs here and see if we can stay open to build a 3-color deck. Maybe heavy green, but it's a good sign here. Alright, Thragtusk. Hard for an aggressive deck to beat, and we are passing a couple aggressive decks. If someone's in red and someone's in white, then we have a pretty high chance of playing against one of those decks. So I could take that. I could also take Garruk Relentless, which might do well in a deck like this. Sultai Planeswalkers. And then there's Sword of Light and Shadow, which I'm not a huge fan of, and Gifts Ungiven, which might be a part of like a Sultai reanimation deck. Yeah, it's a bit early for me to take Gifts Ungiven. I'll take Garruk Relentless. And then what do we have? Devoted Druid. That's a pretty good one with Natural Order, for instance, or ramping up to any 4-drop. Wooded Foothills, another good fetch land that can at least fix for 2 colors right now, but we have better fetches to begin with. And Fauna Shaman, that's a really nice one if we go into some kind of reanimation strategy. So really tough here, but the ramp is more important because we don't have any yet. Nice. Not a big green creature, but Kozilek is a good one to ramp into. The other option here is Birthing Pod. Natural Order plus Birthing Pod. That could definitely be a good sort of strategy. Yeah, maybe I'll try it out. I don't often do the Birthing Pod decks, but it's early enough that maybe that's what we can start building around. The other thing is we don't have so much ramp yet that getting Kozilek in will be easy, and Natural Order just doesn't work with it at all. So, all right, we'll see. Late Koth. Champion of Wits is pretty good. It's also a decent card with Birthing Pod. The other card I'm looking at here is Savannah, because we have a couple ways to fetch it. If we need white for something, that could definitely be powerful, and Champion of Wits is kind of replaceable, so I'll grab Savannah. Wow, Lightning Bolt and Mother of Runes are coming back. That's not a good sign. That's not good for me. Maybe I'll take Looter Ilkor. Lightning Bolt and Mother of Runes are both back, so maybe I could have gone into a deck like this. Or I could take Mother of Runes and go into white aggro. I don't really love Jade Light Ranger. I'll take Looter. Isamaru's back, so it's possible we could have just gone into white aggro because it seems to be completely open. Phantasmal Image, when you copy a creature, it will copy its mana cost and all that, so maybe that'll be good with Birthing Pod. Benthid. Swift Spear and Faith's Fetters are back. Take the Benthid. Okay, so mistakes were made here. Well, mistakes that are hard to, anticipate, but it would have been nice if at least someone at the table was doing an aggro deck. Usually I'm comfortable doing that, I just didn't think of it this time. Edric, that's one that might do well in our deck. Our fixing is getting pretty good, but red is the color we're least comfortable going into. Okay, two good ones here, Splicer and Dancer. I guess I'm more interested in Gifts Ungiven at this point. Sounds kind of weird, but if this is not going to be a Natural Order deck, it might have to turn into some kind of hybrid graveyard deck. And sometimes you just get a couple good cards from your deck, just the third and fourth best card left in your library instead of the best two. Yeah, it's a funny one. It is really nice that it is instant speed. There's a new sort of version of this in the new set coming out, War of the Spark, that gets your choice of cards. Well, you choose a couple cards from your graveyard, choose up to 4 cards from your graveyard, your opponent leaves 2 there, but it's not instant, so it makes it a lot worse. It's a sorcery speed effect. Okay, no big creature here. Craterhoof is gone, which is kind of annoying. There is Animate Dead, which is a powerful effect. We have Looter to discard something powerful. There are a couple green ramp-ish creatures, and there's Sundering Titan, which unfortunately doesn't work with Natural Order. It is a good reanimation target. Of course, it's really bad with our deck if we are playing 3 colors with all of these dual lands, because that'll make more of your lands targets to be destroyed by the Titan. I'll go with Animate Dead here, rather. Not a bad one with Gifts, because Gifts is funny. It's like if you only choose 2 cards from your deck, both of those definitely go to the graveyard. Okay, Opposition. Maybe that'll be our new game plan here. We don't have a ton of creatures yet, but we have a few creatures. And this is just a win condition all by itself. Elish Norn might be a good one to reanimate, but it's not something we have a ton of fixing for yet. Deranged Hermit could wheel. more than likely we'll have things like Hellrider wheeling, because no one wants to try that. Yeah, I'll take opposition. Jace is a pretty good one. And maybe Snapcaster is okay. Natural Order is not really working out here yet. Yeah, Snapcaster doesn't really have any good targets to flash back, whereas Jace is just always pretty good. Bounces a creature, brainstorms. It's kind of its own win condition once you're fate sealing someone, and this is turning into like a weird deck, which might just be a Sultai Super Friends deck, or just playing a bunch of Planeswalkers. More Planeswalkers. We could take Obnixilis, we could take Dark Confidant even. No big green monster. And we could even take Ulamog, although this isn't really shaping up to be a ramp deck. It might be more of a blue-black deck splashing green. And most of our cards are pretty cheap that Dark Confidant looks better. Obnixilis. Draw a card, lose a life, destroy a creature. Yeah, it's decent if the format has a lot of creatures, but I'm not sure how much of those there really are. I'm going to go with Dark Confidant here. And things are making kind of a strange turn. Alright, Explore. No, I think we're off green a little bit at this point. We've got Arcane Artisan, where you can get an expensive creature from your hand in for pretty cheap. Unfortunately, the looting this provides doesn't really put stuff in your graveyard, so it's at odds with a reanimation strategy. What else do we have? A Johnny, which is in red, going to be hard to cast. Chainer's Edict, which is usually fine. Most players are going to have, you know, a lot of good creatures in play and not expendable ones. The other option is Damnation, which doesn't work so well with our opposition plan, but I'll take Chainer's Edict here. There we go. This is one that does work quite well with opposition. Awakening Zone. It also, if we do find something expensive to do, we have a ramp every turn. Make a bunch of these blockers. Also, they help protect your planeswalkers. I really like that one here. It's not a bad green card to be splashing in an opposition deck. So yeah, that looks like the most exciting thing here. Unfortunately, a lot of the control cards are missing too. Power Stone, we're not a Devotion to Black deck, so that's not as exciting. Yeah, Power Stone might be okay. Baral is probably not it. Star of Extinction is interesting, but I don't think this is the right kind of deck for it. Contempt kills planeswalkers. I'm interested in this Power Stone. It's a way to do more things in a turn, and sometimes that's just enough. Even if we have cheap stuff to do, we'll often be drawing enough cards, I think, to make that work. Kiki Jiki, someone could have taken the Pestermite, and that is far too red for us. Breeding Pool, that might have to be the pick here. We seem to be picking Fixing over just about anything, and that's a good one. Now we'll have sort of two fetches with Verdant Catacombs that can get a Breeding Pool, and that's a nice way to go. Otherwise, it's like Treasure Map or something less exciting. Sundering Titan is back. Yeah, if we play too many big cards like this, we're not going to be able to play Dark Confidant. It's just too much of a liability. But I really do like Sundering Titan, and I don't see Sorin being that powerful. Well, maybe. Maybe this is a good thing to do with opposition. Riftwing Cloudskate is actually also pretty nice and maybe better than it looks. So between that and, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do the Cloudskate here. It doesn't look like much, but it always performs better than it looks in my experience. Wow, a turn one thing to do. We have no turn one plays yet, so getting something that can really mess your opponent up is nice. Also, against the aggressive decks, not only do they have a lot of cheap things, but Inquisition doesn't lose you life, unlike Thoughtseize. Yeah, of course we're getting the good white cards coming back, And maybe we just take Sin Collector because it's the only one we have fixing for. Wretched Confluence, that's a nice one. Getting creatures back isn't necessarily that exciting, but killing creatures and drawing cards, that's always worth a few mana. And the red cards are coming late too. We'll take Artisan. And since our early stuff is not counter magic, we could even make this Shardless Agent work. I mean, if not this deck, then what deck? Giving up on some of the worst fixing. Here we go. Good options in this pack. Force of Will is actually really nice here. Ugin the Spirit Dragon is something we can ramp up to with our Worn Power Stone. Worn Power Stone is also the only permanent we have that isn't exiled by its ultimate. Well, I guess its ultimate is the -10, but it's a -X ability. Gets rid of all the colored permanents below a certain mana cost. Anyway, that's really nice here. Dack Fayden is not so interesting. Force of Will is really good. And it's one that isn't hit by Shardless Agent. I could see taking Force of Will, but I really want a win condition here, and Ugin seems like a good one. It can really get you out of a bind. Sower of Temptation, not bad, especially in an opposition deck where you just steal their creature and then start tapping their stuff with it. Tooth and Nail, unfortunately it didn't turn into that deck, but that's the kind of thing Natural Order would be nice with. Show and Tell is funny if you put in your Sower and they put in like Emrakul and you can steal it. Avacyn's Pilgrim doesn't seem to be that heavy of a green deck, but I am interested in more things to do early. I'll just take the Sower here. Ancestral Vision, that is something to do early, and a really good thing to do early as well. Teferi is nice. We could even have some splashing for it. Emrakul is nice, because we'll have a lot of types going to the graveyard. But ultimately here, I like the Vision. Ashiok, okay. There's nothing I'll take over Ashiok. I love this card. And it's something, it's going to be hard to ramp to it on turn 2, but it could definitely come down on turn 3. Looter, I guess that's another option for a second Looter. And we still want creatures, but Ashiok even does that pretty well. If you're exiling your opponent's creatures, you can start playing them out. Crypt Breaker. Crypt Breaker is good. It's not great, but it works well with opposition, just to discard extra cards to make a zombie for you. Crypt Breaker, and the rest of this is not as exciting. Fire and Ice is always okay. A lot of it's red. Yeah, I'll go for that. I'm in for that. Wayfinder puts a bunch of creatures in the graveyard, potentially for Animate Dead. Then we have Godless Shrine, but no reason really to care about white. I guess Sin Collector's not bad. Instant or sorcery gets exiled. Then we have Never Return and Mass Manipulation. Steal creatures and or planeswalkers. Yeah, this is just a tough one. I'm not sure what to pick here. I guess I'll go with Never Return, just because there are so many planeswalkers and this can get a creature for you. Nimble Obstructionist. I've been very happy with this card. There are a lot of triggered and activated abilities that are worth countering, planeswalker ultimates and so forth. So it's a good way to do that. Lich. No thank you. Murderous Cut maybe. Dark Slick Shores, I'm not as excited for that in this build. Maybe we need it, but I don't think I really want it, so I'll go with Mana War. Time Warp and Flooded Strand. Flooded Strand is especially nice here because even if we don't need white, this can find Savannah, Breeding Pool, and I guess it doesn't find black, but that's okay. It's still worth taking here since we'll have enough islands in the deck. Okay, let's grab that over Mulldrifter, I guess. And next, yeah, it's mostly these white cards that I don't really want to splash, so Liliana should be fine. Then what? Then Lumbering Falls is actually somewhat interesting because Ugin will exile, non-colored cards, and this is a land, so that well, it'll exile colored cards, so Lumbering Falls can kind of survive it. Excavator is also interesting since we have so many fetches. But I'll take the land in this case. Sabotage, our one piece of counter magic, might as well grab that. And it's a good one because it isn't something we put in our graveyard with the agent. Thirst. Thirst is not great unless we really want to put stuff in the graveyard, but yeah, there's not that much we can do with Animate Dead, actually, except kill our opponent's creatures or get back something with a little bit of value. Spymaster. It's too bad the Eldrazi we get with Awakening Zone don't have any power, because they won't work with Edric. Not that I'm even sure we want Edric. We do need some cuts, so that's an early contender. I'm going to leave out Dark Confidant just because we have a couple expensive things and it's hard for us to get rid of it. I don't love Benthid, but some decks, it might be good against some decks. The thing is, even against aggro decks, it comes down so late that it might be too late. Put in Garruk Relentless. I could see putting in Devoted Druid over, like, I don't know, over Wayfinder. What else do we have here? Gifts Ungiven. Not a huge fan of that in this deck. It just doesn't have that much reason to play it, really. Sin Collector, that might be okay here, but it can definitely be good out of the sideboard. And this is 23 with a little bit of card draw, maybe not as much as I would have liked, and a curve that can get us there. Only one thing to ramp towards. If we had a little more card draw, I'd feel a bit happier. We do have this one Looter, so maybe we can just put in a Thirst for Knowledge and call it a day. That is instant speed. So that's not too bad. How does the curve look here? I mean, this is kind of a 2-drop. This is a 3-drop. Not a ton to do on turn 1. But could 16 lands work in a deck like this? Let's see how the mana looks. A lot of blue. 13 blue, 6, 7, 13, 7, 4. And then the mana should really get helped out by all of this stuff we have. Do we need Lumbering Falls? I think it's okay in this deck. Take it or leave it. It does help fix a little bit. Don't want Shambling Vent. We don't have fetches for basics specifically, I don't think. So we don't need to worry about having one basic forest. But this is a lot of sources of green, most of them fetchable. 7 sources of green for very few green cards, 4. And it doesn't give up on our sources of blue. Oops. 10 sources of blue. And although Flooded Strand doesn't find black, some of our other stuff does. So also 7 sources of black. 7 sources of black is not that much. But yeah, the only way to get around that is to take out a green source, I think, like Lumbering Falls. And yeah, all of our sources of green pretty much, besides Savannah, I guess, are also sources of blue. So we'll hope the card draw gets us there. The other option is just to take out one card and put in another land, like another black source. And I'm going to play it a little more risky than that and keep in just more stuff to do. Our curve is not that high, especially given the modes on Cloud Skate. So we'll get away with it. Breeding Pool, Savannah. All right, Sultai mid-range, I guess? Sultai something, but a deck like this, even a deck like this can win, so let's try it out. Round 1. Yes, I would like to play first. Hopefully we don't get mana screwed right off the bat. No, far from it. I'll keep this. It doesn't have a ton to do early, but maybe our opponent will give us something to copy. And our mana's all taken care of besides Wretched Confluence. Put this in there just to not take any more damage than need be, even though all the aggressive decks seem to be taken. Land tax, so maybe not. Yeah, let's not give them 3 lands right now, and sort of they'll put us back on the draw here in terms of time. Have to be very careful about how we play this. Yeah, I don't mind just waiting here for a bit. Start discarding. Wow, what should we discard? I kind of want to discard a land, and I think that should be Savannah. Yeah, we'll play this game for a while. Are we gonna mill ourselves first? Yeah, I guess we mill ourselves first here. Come on, play a land. This is absurd. They really want that land tax, do they? Don't need Breeding Pool. They're discarding some lands. Oh no. Okay, let's see what they get. So we'll let them get 3 lands here, and hopefully they'll just start playing Magic now. I really want to get this Ancestral Vision suspended, and they got their green, they got their white. And thank goodness they played a land. But they're not doing anything else, and they are discarding, but that thins their deck a ton. Anyway, now we can start playing Looter and discarding our more expensive spells, potentially. See if they can deal with this. I still don't want to give them another land tax trigger. They've discarded just a bunch of lands, which makes sense. All right, they've gone ahead and played a 3rd land. Now they journey our Looter, holding up green. Ugin, huh? Well, we can get our 3rd land out. What should that be? I guess it doesn't matter a ton here. We can't copy anything, and bouncing something doesn't make sense. Yes, they're still playing more land. That's somewhat good news for me, I guess. So they've got the 3 lands. And now we still can't do anything. We could potentially counter a land tax trigger. But yeah, it's just holding up Nimble Obstructionist here. This Ancestral Vision comes in next turn. Oh, they're still playing land. That is just wonderful. Okay, I'm going to play Nimble Obstructionist. First threat on the table. And there's really less to discard at the end of this turn. So target myself here. And now they have played the 5th land. Fetch lands are a funny way to interact with land tax. Oh, what to do? Jace, return target creature to its owner's hand, doesn't interact with Journey. I think we play Island. And I think we try to ramp up a little bit here. Power Stone. Swing for 3. And maybe they will continue to do nothing for this entire game. 6 mana. Oh, that's great. So that'll give us Ugin next turn. There's really not much they can do against that except mana tithe it or something. So if they don't have white up, that won't matter. Sun Titan getting back a land. Well, this is just too easy. We can steal Sun Titan or exile it. Oh, and they are getting back white. So I want to be kind of careful here, if possible. They've got so many lands in play now. Seven. Okay, so let's not do Ugin this turn. Instead, let's get, I don't know, Island. Try to steal that Sun Titan. Okay, that worked. Maybe bait their counter magic by playing a Jace. Okay, they just are tapped out, so it didn't matter. We can Fate Seal them, I guess. I don't need any more cards. Lightning Greaves. Put Lightning Greaves on the bottom. Yeah, I don't want them to get something with hexproof. That does make things more difficult for me. Of course, it'll give them some other card to draw, but I guess Phantasmal Image plays well against it, but if they get to attack with, I don't know, too many large things with, oh no. Oh, that's so bad. With haste, that's not good news for us. Anyway, what can we do here? We can -7 our Ugin, which is not that good. We can bounce 2 creatures. We can copy a creature and then bounce it. They can replay 1 thing. We could also, well, getting back Looter doesn't do much. They have 8 mana in play, or 8 lands, 4, so we can play 1. Confluence. Get that down to a 6. We could kill Sun Titan here. Or we could even kill Elish Norn. 5. We'd have to use all of Wretched Confluence to kill it. Or we could return, how much mana do we have here? 8. We have 8, so we could copy Elish Norn for 2, and then get Sower back, but that's 9. That's too expensive this turn. So maybe we will just bounce some stuff this turn. So return Elish Norn. bounce Sun Titan, and in case they did find the Mana Tithe, we'll hold up Flooded Strand, and we'll cast this. So return 2 target creatures from our graveyard. Target player draws a card and gains a life, so that'll be us. We'll get back these 2, and that's pretty good. They can play Elesh Norn to kill Mana War, but then we are both stealing and copying Elesh Norn, which is a powerful play. Follow that up with Ugin. And it wouldn't be easy to steal if it had haste and hexproof. Mirari's Wake, okay, not bad. Still just 8 mana here. We could also animate dead Elesh Norn if it dies somehow. Yeah, Elesh Norn, I mean, that kills our Mana War, which is too bad, I guess. Too bad. Elvish Mystic. Okay, Elvish Mystic is definitely dead. Yeah, but how does this work? This works by first copying Elesh Norn. It's kind of small, but it's about to be bigger. Sower should survive as a 2/2. Stealing Elesh Norn. Oh, we have to keep one? Why don't we keep ours so that their Elesh Norn goes to the graveyard, right? Choose one to keep. This is the real one. This is the one we want. Well, that was pretty good too. I didn't even realize that. And then keep Fate Sealing them. Why not? The Immortal Sun. On the bottom. Yeah, let's put that one on the bottom. And pass it. So now what do they have? Well, they have 2 dead creatures. We have Nimble Obstructionist to counter something with an activated or triggered ability, or just to play it. They have a Sun Titan. They have Oblivion Ring. We can counter this triggered ability. Perfect. Draw a card. Sorry, Oblivion Ring, you will not exile anything this time. And Jace is eventually going to win on its own. Ugin is even faster. Yeah, Ugin, Wrath of God, no problem. At this point we could animate Dead Sower to get 2 things. Or probably just Ugin and Wrath the whole board here. -6 Ugin. Seems good. Gets rid of Mirari's Wake. Goodness knows that's something I want to do. They've only got 1 card left in their hand. I don't think I know what it is at this point. Sun Titan. But I guess they're going to play their last card too. And it's small enough that Ugin is just going to destroy everything. Oh, yes, please. Well, here we go. Fate Seal them. Incubation Druid. No, you can have that on top. Here's 8 mana for Ugin. -X. Well, X is going to be 6, which just lets Ugin survive, but gets all of our good stuff back. I think we have another swamp in our deck, so we can cast Shardless Agent this turn. Not that I really need to. I mean, they're just dead here. They're wondering whether to concede, I imagine. I mean, it's just going to be no good for them. Or we can get back something that will kill them very quickly, like Elesh Norn. And I think we'll just do that. Now they know about it, but we know it's on top of their deck. It's not going to be an easy game for them to win. Okay, great. They wanted to know what we left on top. Cool. Sin Collector could definitely come in here. Well, we have one white source. Maybe that's too hard to get. Okay, let's leave it like this. Tough choice here. We're on the draw. We have one color and 15 lands in our deck. So we need to draw pretty much any land in the first 2 turns to have a chance. I think we mulligan that. We can do better. Here, this is a lot better. We can put something like Island on the bottom and get a turn 1 Crypt Breaker with our Misty Rainforest. I'm pretty sure we have black-green, but whatever, we certainly have blue. Okay, they didn't get that land tax out there, especially on the play, it's a lot worse. But yeah, let's get Overgrown Tomb and a Crypt Breaker. Done. Lumbering Falls, not great, but we're still on track for Ashiok. Also, I guess I want to discard a card. We could discard Lumbering Falls. Do I want to draw more land? Not necessarily. So we just get a blue with Flooded Strand and pass it. Discard probably just Lumbering Falls. Dahlia. Oh no. Huh. Maybe I do want to draw non-basic. Oh, that's a weird one. That's awful. Okay, well... Well... I could even get Savannah here. No, I should get Island. Discard... discard Breeding Pool, maybe, at this point, since Thalia is going to make it come into play tapped anyway. Come on, untapped land. No, well, Phantasmal Image, but I don't want this on the field. So we could just discard another card this turn. Do they get to attack? Let's see. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So they don't really get to attack here. I mean, maybe they will, but we'll see. Let's get rid of Wretched Confluence. Just a bit too expensive. Wait, why does it come into play tapped? Wait, what? Oh, all creatures. For whatever reason, I thought it was legendary creatures. Like non-basic lands and legendary creatures. Oh, no. Lightning Greaves getting equipped. Savannah. Well, gonna be a little tougher for them to deal with this. Let's get our threat into play. Exiling stuff. We even got a creature, Oracle of Moldiah. And we could draw a card. We could like block and then draw. Double block with the zombies. Draw a card with Crypt Breaker. We're losing a lot of life, but that should be fine. Always yield to this. Now they're drawing up to 3 cards a turn for a while. So let's find out what those decisions are. 2 cards on top. So they value their life total here. Oh, Hero of Bladehold. Not great for me, however. I can... Okay, that's really not great for me. I mean, we still get to kill this hero, but maybe they get to kill Ashiok. That's tough. That's really tough. 4, they can get Ashiok down to 1, and we can kill Thalia. That's pretty good. Do we want to kill Thalia? Or do we want to kill this hero? That's the question. That's the question. We can copy one of them. Yeah, I think we want to kill the hero. And save our Thalia. They're all attacking Ashiok, or save our Ashiok rather. Then we can copy something. I don't want them to get another activation from the hero. Yeah, let's do this and draw a card. Bounce one of their soldiers. Power Stone doesn't do much, but I guess it does enough. We even keep a zombie, so this is working out so well. All right, they're going to re-equip Lightning Greaves to the Thalia, which we can still copy. Come on, untapped land for once. Well, yeah, no, because that'll come in tapped. So first we'll exile from them, get Mother of Runes. Mana War back a soldier. And that's about the best we can do here. Mana War back a token. Play a tapped land. And I guess try to protect Ashiok? What else have we exiled here? 4 lands. No problem. Yeah, I think I do want to protect Ashiok here. We can chump Thalia with the zombie. Image the Mana War. Well, let's see what happens. Mirari's Wake. Not great. That also means we won't be able to double block Thalia later. So, both coming at Ashiok. I mean, they really hate this Ashiok, and can't blame them. Ashiok is a beast. Keep exiling. Just keep getting lands. And then, what to do here? Well, we have a land, at least, and we can even get another untapped land, but really what we want to do, I suppose, is image the Mana War to bounce the soldier, or we could also image Thalia so that they don't get to attack with whatever they bring into play. We're still saving our Ashiok. Yeah, why don't we do that? So image Thalia here. Power Stone, and pass it. Try to protect this Ashiok. Does a good job because their stuff's going to come into play tapped so they don't get an extra attacker. They have infinite mana here, but at least we got rid of the Ulamog. Some kind of big creature. Way too much mana. 8 mana here. Elishnorn, no. That really messes me up. Elishnorn, too difficult to beat, I think. Because they get me to 5. And they kill Ashiok, or they just kill me, right? 10. It's close. It's close. Good thing I had this Elishnorn coming into play tapped. And good thing I killed the hero of Bladehold when I could, for that matter. Well, the thing is, now they could make a haste creature. If their last creature is some 3-drop or 4-drop, they can equip the Greaves to it. Me and Ashiok's gone. Yeah, if they play any creature here, it'll be surprising because they could have just killed us. Nope, doesn't look like it. And can we survive? Sower, almost. The thing is that'll just die when it comes into play, so let's try again. Do we have stuff that kills enchantments? Nope, we don't have much of anything useful. Besides being on the play. Liliana is also potentially okay, because all of our stuff's going to die. Garruk's pretty good. It can kill small-ish creatures. Crypt Breaker was good that game. Never is fine. Sabotage is probably good. I could see cutting Thirst for Knowledge, but well, let's do it like this. All right, keeping this, a turn 1 Ancestral Vision is definitely going to set us up well. I don't know what land to get, though. Maybe Basic Island. But let's see, do we have anything better to get? It's either that or Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool is expensive, but it's something that won't come into play tapped later. Yeah, I'll just get Breeding Pool. And pass it. Now if they play some tiny creature, Mother of Runes, we can Chainer's Edict. Otherwise we'll get Lumbering Falls into play. Ramping up quick this time. Thirst for Knowledge can discard our Power Stone if we really want. Come on, slow start. Okay, good deal. Slow start from them. Pretty quick start for us. Don't want to see land tax, but I think our best bet here is just a Power Stone pass. We still haven't seen Mana Tithe. Do it. Silverblade Paladin. It's not the best thing we can destroy with Chainer's Edict, but it's not awful. Maybe we put Jace into play. Yeah, that actually seems decent here. Jace, bounce Paladin, pass it. Because I would have loved to have them sacrifice it and then hold up Sinister Sabotage. Maybe we can do that this turn. Like, we had enough mana, but we actually needed... we needed more than just mana. Well, this is pretty good. Chainer's Edict, Animate Dead, if we have another black. We're going to have lots of cards this turn. Oh dear. Yeah, this is nuts. Playing multiple cards per turn. Multiple lands per turn, that is. Okay, so first things first. Let's copy Oracle. Then let's whoops. Let's Chainer's Edict their Oracle. And it's not legendary, so we can just get another one. Why not? Oracle. They could Wrath us here, so actually I think we're well enough just to brainstorm or something. Put 2 cards back on top. Well, that can be something, and then Island. Okay, they've had enough. Yeah, that was awesome. Not only do we have tons of mana here, but we have Animate Dead and Ugin coming up and whatever, so see you in the next match. Round 2. We are on the draw here, and no blue to be found. But our first blue gets us Thirst, and we have a turn for Garruk. And opposition is not that important to get down early, so I will keep begrudgingly. We could have gone for something more powerful, especially with the new Mulligan rule, but okay. We are going to draw cards in the meantime, and Chainer's Edict is a nice one to set up here. Raphellos, oh yes. That is a juicy target. Now we don't need mono green, we certainly don't need white, so I'm going to go Chainer's Edict here with the with another black source. Then, if we find our first blue, we'll have 2 good cards to discard. Yeah, we really just need Garruk. If the only lands we draw now are islands, we're probably set. Nissa, no problem. Gosh, getting Garruk down next turn would be great, just not possible. Because that's a nice thing to hit. There we go. That's wonderful. So we'll do Island here and hold Thirst for Knowledge up on their turn. Maybe that'll give us some more information or make them wonder what we can do. Flash in a blocker or something. Alright, Thirst. Probably discarding some lands here. We could get the Raphelos back and have all our forests in play. Discard 2 cards or an artifact. Well, that's interesting, because we have an artifact. But I think we want to discard 2 cards here anyway. Is that true? Yeah, Verdant Catacombs does find us blue-green. So let's do 2 cards. Didn't even realize we had that kind of stuff going on. Anyway, let's go ahead and try to get Garruk Relentless in there. Pay the life. Destroy that. Transform Garruk. It's already activated, so it's not like we have a new Planeswalker that can activate again this turn. This has to get basic forests, so we don't have any, so no great animate dead targets here. That'll be a good animate dead target. Oh, wow. If we could only get rid of it. Don't want to sacrifice a creature. I will make a 1/1. This is just a tough turn, isn't it? This is a tough one. Sacrifice a creature, get a creature into our hand. Don't really want to do that. What to do? We could try to tap down a land, but unfortunately they can add the mana for the Echo anyway. So let's just make some stuff. And see what we hit with our Shardless Agent. Because if they just play for the Echo cost, they're not going to cast anything anyway. Yeah, Devoted Druid. Devoted Druid's surprisingly good here with, like, I don't know, with opposition eventually. And yeah, I don't like the cards for Animate Dead right now, and maybe they'll lose Deranged Hermit. And we can do Deranged Hermit opposition next turn and forget about Garruk. Yes, well, I don't know. Either way, it seems to work out well for me. They will kill Garruk at the cost of a bunch of squirrels, maybe. And I think if they just attack Garruk with all their squirrels, we can... What can we do here? Just let Garruk die to it, and then have a bunch of creatures left up? Sounds good to me. Goodbye, Garruk. No way of saving it there. Mana War. Huh. Yeah, that lets us counter Deranged Hermit. Bounce that Deranged Hermit. Then we'll have better blockers for the squirrels. Get him. And why not just attack with, like, these things. I don't want to lose my Death Touch creature to a 1/1. And I'm not so worried about a 1/1 killing me here. So we have Sinister Sabotage for the Hermit coming back down when it does, if it does. Or counter a better creature. So here they go with Deranged Hermit. Now we counter Deranged Hermit. surveilling one even, so maybe we'll find the best creature. We'll leave our Cloudskate on top, I think. It's not something we need, but wow, way to have anything visible on the screen. Turn up that contrast. Now the fun part begins. We have Animate Dead for Deranged Hermit and Opposition. We can even pay for Deranged Hermit if we so choose. We could also suspend Cloudscape, but I think that's less important here. And good luck. There we go. Now their squirrels are bigger too, that's hilarious. Anyway, we will tap every single piece of mana they have. Or something like that. Okay, great. Now, did we see anything to change our deck up? Maybe Liliana's okay. Maybe they have big creatures. But nothing incredible. Nothing mind-blowing to make any of our sideboard cards better. How about this? Opponent's keeping 7. This looks okay. We've got our colors and some ramp, and we don't really mind drawing land here, so Lumbering Falls looks good on turn 1, so we don't have to thin our deck. Then, yeah, I'll just go Devoted Druid off a swamp, potentially. A blue-black land would have been great for this deck, because then we're looking at working towards our double blue and our double black spells. We don't have that, so we'll just have to guess which one we want more. Oh, you know, actually, yeah, this works out pretty well. We can get a turn 3 Cloudskate off the Devoted Druid to bounce their forest. And potentially that puts them back enough. They want green. That could put them back enough here to sort of have to make a land drop again. See if that works out for us. Or if they get something too good into play. Yavimaya Elder. Hey, we could steal that. Either way, we're going to need the blue. Yeah, hold on here. Let's get the island, just regular old island. Add one, untap, add another, blue, blue, blue. Cloudskate, bounce the forest, and pass it. That puts them so far back. Of course they can make their land drops now with the Elder. So they replay the A forest. Don't know if it's the forest. Now Shaman. And I guess they would want to trade here. Am I up for that? Do I want to trade here? Because we'll only have 5 mana this next turn. We can't do our Devoted Druid trick again. But what we could do is kill both of their creatures and draw cards, so I think we're okay here to just wait. Maybe steal Fauna Shaman. Creature from our graveyard to our hand. Oh, I should have blocked. Well, I don't know. I don't want them to get that trigger. Tough one, though. I do kind of want to kill Fauna Shaman. But maybe not Elder. Let them waste their time on that. And potentially steal it later. Stealing it seems like a great idea. Could even do that now, but let's go for the Wretched Confluence instead here. So target creature gets -1, target player draws 2 cards. So we'll draw, Fauna Shaman bites it, and pass it. Trade some more hits here. But again, if they're not using their mana for the Elder, then we're in great shape here. Wood Elves, well, that does find them a land. Mono green, huh? They have another land, so they'll attack and maybe crack Yavimaya Elder unless they can do something better. Oh, you know what would be so good? Countering the activation from Elder. I guess either way they get an activation, but it's still kind of funny. Anyway, so many options this turn. Copy the Cloud Skate, hold up mana for counter magics. We only have 2 blue, so we can't hold up everything. And we can't copy everything. But what would we want to bounce? We could bounce like Cold Steel Heart. Play another Cloud Skate here and then hold up Nimble Obstructionist just for fun. Oh, I don't know. Why don't we just attack and pass it here? There's a lot of cool stuff we can do. If they play a big creature, we can steal it or something. Yeah, let's let them get 3 cards off this. It is cute to counter it, but I'm curious to see where they can go with this. What is their big payoff? And is it a payoff so big that we can't deal with it? Because with this hand, I imagine we can deal with most things. And I'd love to steal something big. Playing with fire here. That's one of the lands they got. It would have to be like both uncounterable and unstealable for me to really care. Carnage Tyrant. Well, I asked for it. Can't be countered, can't be targeted. You know what we can do with it? We can copy it. Oh, I just had to run my big mouth, did I? Wow. We can copy it. So let's do this, and we can even just play Obstructionist. We don't need Mana War. We don't need this swamp. I'll keep the island. Just had to run my big mouth. No. Alright. Verdant Catacombs. Get down to a lower life total. Probably could have found a better land there. I guess we're kind of racing them here. Let's... I mean, we can't steal it. Maybe we can steal something later. How much mana do we need here? Well, we know we are going to copy this Tyrant, because that doesn't target, so that's something we get to do. Probably block. Then I want Jason play. Or maybe just hold up Counter Magic again, because they're going to have a ton of mana up this next turn, and I don't want them to like deal with our Carnage Tyrant somehow. I just want to trade it off. So I'll go for Island here and just pass. Jace can be kind of a reactive spell because you get to discard their card. Put them lower. This is a nice an illusion because they can't target it, so they can't make us sacrifice it super easily. And if they attack us, like, they don't kill us, so maybe we could kill them on the way back. That is definitely worth thinking about. Carnage Tyrant. This is right on the edge of like mid-range and then unbeatable bomb. It's just so much smaller than some of the big Eldrazi, but it's also much easier to cast and completely wrecks certain control cards. All right, another land coming out, and Sword of Feast and Famine. Yeah, no, thank you. That is not particularly beatable here. Looter Ilkor. Graveyard? I don't really want Looter Ilkor. Now what? Wickerbow Elder. What does that do? Nothing yet. It blocks Carnage Tyrant. I will probably trade off here anyway. Well, let's see. Oh, our turn is so good. We can Sower the Wickerbow Elder. Yeah, if they attack, I just don't block. There's no reason to. We have a win on board. It's like exactly 11 damage. Because they block 1 from the Tyrant. Their Tyrant's gone. The Wickerbow Elder's gone. They're just deciding whether or not it's worth attacking. Don't want to do it. The best part is we have the green left over to activate its ability. Thank you, random mana base. Do it. Wood Elves is attacking. Now, why do you think they would do that? I think they're doing that to make it more likely that we block the Tyrant. I don't know. It's silly. Anyway, Sower, and game over. Steal the creature that we can steal, and get in the full 12 since they have no blockers. Just activate it first. Get him. We don't need to attack with Devoted Druid, so let's do it right. Puts him at -1 and puts us onto the finals. The final round versus Master Mirek, and we get to play. Wow, this is a perfect hand here. We have turn 1 play, turn 2 play to disrupt them, turn 3 threat, turn 4 monster. Can't write it better than that. Crypt Breaker, and if they do nothing, we can just potentially discard a card, although I don't know what we want to discard. Oh, Messenger? Maybe that's not one we want to edict here. Seems pretty bad. But it is one we could make a zombie to contend with. So how does that work? That works by going Misty, and then making a zombie by discarding Savannah, probably. Unless we really care about our life total. Turn 1, Dark Ritual Messenger. I love it. Mind Stone, okay, so it won't be another creature here, so potentially we can get rid of this messenger. They will attack with it, which is fine. Of course we need the mana here, so let's get Island. Eventually we could need double black, but I'm just excited to get this Ashiok out there. Now what? I'll discard Savannah. Right, this is going to be a little more painful, but it also lets us do double blue. We're just never going to need double green. Ugin. Alright, here we go. First thing, well, here's what we can do. We can Chainer's Edict them this turn. To protect our Ashiok without losing our Crypt Breaker. And that even prevents some damage here. Yeah, not bad. I mean, we could have used that land, but maybe we'll draw some more land. The Savannah, that is. Let's see what they have here. Hopefully not a threat that gets Ashiok. They've got something. Night's Whisper. Okay, this is perfect. Unless, I mean, I imagine what they can do with 2 more mana is going to be small enough that it won't affect us. Okay, great. I will play Catacombs first, just in case they have the white mana or the days, or I don't know what they could have, but might as well play the Catacombs first. And this is where the fun begins. I don't even feel the need to attack with Crypt Breaker here. What do we get? We get Spawn of Mayhem, Show and Tell, which is great. Well, you know, I will attack with Crypt Breaker. There's so little they can do with haste. And our opponent had the haste boots. Yeah, that's scary. Show and Tell. It doesn't... The card itself is not that scary, well, now that it's gone. But it means they might have some giant monsters in their deck. And they are ramping up. I mean, 5 mana this turn. Batter Skull. We could get out Spawn of Mayhem. But now they have this lifelink, so that's maybe not as good. Ugin's pretty nice against Batter Skull. -0, you kill their Germ token. Overgrown Tomb, don't need to pay the life. Awakening Zone, that's really good against this. It's so good against it. Garruk's not very good against it. Although it does protect itself. Oh, what a tough game. Garruk does protect itself here. I kind of want Awakening Zone, and then we'll let our Crypt Breaker die. But you know what, let's just keep learning more about their deck. And Batterskull can't even kill that, so we can go exile some more stuff. So maybe it's a reanimation deck. Show and Tell, Dread Return, this looks like it's going to have some kind of big... oops. It's going to have some kind of Grizzlebrand style card. Yeah, so I imagine they'll come with the Germ after Ashiok. And I don't really care about Crypt Breaker. I kind of care about Ashiok, so I'll probably block with Crypt Breaker. Puts them up to 18 again, so I think Ashiok is well worth protecting. The nice part about these Awakening Zone tokens is that we can sacrifice them before they take damage and after they block. So it's really good against lifelink, as long as the lifelinker doesn't have trample or something. Oh, the Scarab God. Yeah. That's another tough one to deal with. And they can start getting stuff back, like Crypt Breaker even. I love Awakening Zone. You may get it back. What now? What now? Keep exiling cards. Keep Ashiok at a nice high life total. And Mana War is an excellent draw here. That means we can bounce, well, the Germ or the Scarab God. I think we definitely want to bounce the Scarab God. If we bounce the Germ, they can re-equip the Scarab God with it. Which maybe isn't so bad, but... Now what do we do? 4, 5, 7. We're not getting super close to Ugin, but it might be well worth it. Oh no, Massacre Worm. We need an Ugin quick. They might put Ugin down to 5 here. We also have Vampire Nighthawk we could bring in after taking damage. And they will go for Ashiok. So I don't know what the play is here. Get some more blockers. Or keep exiling. We're at 10. Nah, I think we want this Vampire Nighthawk. I really do. The only problem with it... The only problem with the Nighthawk is they can get it back later. Let's keep exiling. Exiling also makes Ashiok a bigger target. And we'll just get some more little blockers. Maybe this was not the right play, to be honest. Because if they attack us, the Massacre Worm is doing more damage to us each time. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be. Tough spot to be. We need mana ramp, so maybe we just block the Massacre Worm with the Wolf and let whatever else happens happen. So yeah, I probably should have gotten back the Nighthawk there. I'm just so curious with this Ashiok, and if we can survive long enough, it will kill them. 3 more turns or something. 7. The maximum mana we'll have next turn is 7, but I really need 8 for this Ugin. How long can we survive? They'll definitely attack with both. And they're both coming at us, so they are choosing... They're choosing to be annoying here. 4, 5, 6. The longest we survive, let's see, if we block with both, we're taking 4 to 6. If we block with 1, we're taking 6 to 4. I think we want to block with both here. So do OK here, and then before damage, just sacrifice this. It's better than it dying of natural causes. Great, now we can bring back in Vampire Nighthawk. And I imagine at this point they have answers for things, but what else can we really do? Yeah, I thought we'd be so far ahead getting this early Ashiok down, but it took a lot out of us to get this messenger dealt with. Savannah, Chainer's Edict. And we haven't really been ramping up. I mean, we'd expect to have been closer to Ugin by this point. So always yes, always yield. I've already done that, but F6'd. Wretched Confluence, does that do anything here? Kind of. I mean, it kills Massacre Worm. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So 3, that gets us back Vampire Nighthawk. Confluence is instant, so I could block with the spawn, use the Confluence to kill Massacre Worm. Only problem there is they can get it back with the Scarab God. So maybe I can Confluence the Scarab God, like right now. Ah, if only we had more mana. What are the other options? We could double Confluence the Scarab God and then Garruk to kill it. Then they get it back to their hand, which isn't that bad. And that's if we do it now. Not an easy one. The other thing is getting Mana War back would be good, but we just don't have enough mana to use it here. Oh dear. Well, yeah, that puts us at 4. Kill the Scarab God. That's our best bet, because if they get back Mana War, that's too awful for us. So let's go ahead and go through with this. So we're down to 2. We'll probably still have to make a wolf here. So we cast this. And I'm trying to think if we want to get back Mana War or kill the Scarab God. So if we get back Mana War, we have to use Garruk's 0 to flip it. And then we'll go up to 6 and lose 6, judging by those attacks. So we can't do that. Just cast this. We'll have to cast it all on the Scarab God and make a wolf. I could have done this on my end step, I guess. So they won't have mana, but whatever. That would have been a good spot to do it. I could have done it on my end step after making a wolf. But them casting it again here isn't the end of the world. Something to think about, though. Now what do we do? I guess we do want to kill the Massacre Worm. Take it down to 2. Hope we can find an answer to their I don't know, Scarab God after this. Because we sort of have an answer to the Germ token. We don't have good answers to the Scarab God, though. Unless we draw a lot of mana this turn. A couple Dark Rituals might help. What did they do? Oh, they killed that thing. So we are dead on board. Right. I was going to say opposition might have been a good draw here. Assuming these are both coming at us. I assume they did that because they knew it won. Yeah, opposition would have been good there. All of these creatures that die to Massacre Worm are kind of not as good. But maybe we can do all right against that. Sin Collector looks especially nice against this. But what would be the cut? Thirst for Knowledge. I've been liking Thirst for Knowledge. Obstructionist is very good. Mana War is pretty good. Sower is excellent. Garruk Relentless, I wonder. And that's good with opposition, so it might deserve a spot because of that. Never Return. The Aftermath here exiles a creature card. Yeah, we're doing the right stuff here. So I'm going to submit again like this, and we can just think about how Liliana and Sin Collector might be important for Game 3. Maybe even take out Wretched Confluence, but even that answers some things. All right, back at it. Would you like to play first? Yes. What a hand. Yeah, I think we have to keep this. Turn 1, Ancestral Vision, and then nothing for a while, maybe? But even getting to the second blue, or the second land at all, gives us an early suspend on the Cloudskate as well, so I think this is worth it, although it's definitely risky. And then, Wretched Confluence does nothing, but please land, let's go. All right. Yes. Okay, that gives us black-green, which I'm pretty sure is what we want to just grab now. Make sure we know all our options here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and grab black-green and suspend the Cloudskate. The most suspend cards I've seen this tournament. Suspended at the same time anyway. And they'll both come down at the same time. Yeah, cards like this and Mana War, they're just so good against bounce effects. Or, well, they are bounce effects. They're good against reanimation effects, because they work so hard to get it in to play the first time. Devoted Druid, not a bad draw here. Even if they can kill it, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully. Dread Wanderer, I think, wow, no lands from them either. Dread Wanderer kind of says to me that they might have like a Recurring Nightmare style card. Anyway, we can't do Jace here. We could hold up Obstructionist. I'm just going to do Mana War, so they can't do anything too tricky here, and they seem to be a bit far behind. They spent their only black to get out their Wanderer. We might as well put them back another turn. Start catching up in our life total. We're going to bounce whatever they play this turn anyway. Maybe a swamp. Izareth. Okay. I want to put the Cloudscape on the bottom so that our Ancestral Vision resolves first. The nice part about that is we can decide what to bounce later. Like that Izareth. So bounce Izareth so we don't have to deal with it. I mean, bouncing a land is interesting. But we don't have a good answer to Izareth, so I think we just bounce that. And my favorite, Ashiok. Oh, speaking of my favorite. Opposition is just completely unbeatable here, right? I think so. Do their upkeep and start going here. They might concede to this. This is awful for them. Maybe they'll find another swamp on top and play a 2-1 tapped. But then again, maybe not. If they're going to play this game, I'm going to pass the phase here. Hold up that black mana. Get rid of that black mana. Maybe they drew an instant here. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? The other thing is we could untap our Devoted Druid. I don't want to have to do that. And it's unlikely that we have to do that. Okay, great. Because the colorless doesn't matter. 9 cards in their hand. Wow. That's what we get for bouncing all their stuff. I'm surprised they're still really playing it out here. Silumgar, huh? I wonder. Should we animate dead that just to protect ourselves from them doing it? Shouldn't matter too much. What I really want to do is just play this Ashiok. Although, getting another creature into play sounds good too. Do Ashiok. Now we can tap down all of their lands. Okay, okay, good game. This was going to be a tough one for them to win. Now we'll be back on the draw, where I'm not quite as comfortable. Sin Collector, I wish it was any. I mean, it is really good. We just don't have consistent enough turn 3 white, and no real way to get it. We could put in one more white source, and then we'd have, well, how many ways of getting it would we have? I guess we have some ways. We have 4 ways of getting it. Exile that card. We do have 4 ways of getting it, but maybe it's not that good. It's pretty good. What would we take out for it? That's the real question, and I don't have a good answer for that. Maybe something random like Looter Ilkor? Or probably Thirst for Knowledge. It's a bit slow here. Yeah, let's just try Sin Collector over that. And maybe we don't need another white source, since we have this Savannah. It does limit what we can get when we fetch. Here we go. Yeah, I will keep this. Inquisition is so nice. And we have 4 sources of white to draw towards in this epic of a game. What can we find? Ultimate Price and Malicious Affliction. Just tons of removal. Ultimate price, monocolored creature, and malicious affliction. Probably that's better. And get rid of that. All the swamps they could want. And damage. Oh, turn 3 Ashiok. Yes, please. They do have Vraska's Contempt for it. So maybe if we draw white next turn, we can get rid of that Contempt. Ouch. 2 cards we know about. Maybe we can do Mana War here first. Then they can ultimate price Mana War. Because if we do Ashiok, and they have Vraska's Contempt right away, that's not ideal. Will they have it? They probably will have it. There's no good way for us to get it back, and it's such a good answer to what they have going on. What a game. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Mana War. I mean, it's not beautiful, but it might just be good enough. Ultimate price, killing our Mana War. At least it gets rid of that. Then we can have our Nimble Obstructionist back. Vampire Nighthawk. So interesting. So we could have gotten away with Ashiok here, but I don't want to try again. Oh, I know what to do, I think. Let's go ahead and block the Nighthawk with the Obstructionist. If they let us, and if they don't, that means they'll have used a removal spell. Like the Contempt, which they really need to save for Ashiok. Do it. Because Ashiok can outpace the Nighthawk. They're thinking about something. We know they have this option. Yes! Got rid of it. Now we could even bounce with Jace if we find that. But better yet, let's get Ashiok and start plussing. And that gives us information too. Well, a bunch of lands. So we got a few of their islands. I don't know what this order means. It might mean that Swamp was on the top, but I just don't actually know. Either way, maybe they're not going to draw Island for a while, and their hand is full of blue cards. Bloodline Keeper. Oh dear. It's a lot of vampires. Maybe we can find a black source. They're going after us. Oh, sweet. Well, let's see. We probably can't afford to do Sin Collector this turn. But we definitely have to use Ashiok. I think we just do Jace, bounce Bloodline Keeper. Or potentially Sin Collector this turn, but then Ashiok's looking pretty grim. What would Sin Collector get, I wonder? Well, it shows us their hand, for one thing. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and use Sin Collector. See what we're up against, and this is the best time I can think of to do Ancestral Vision. So maybe we'll get a... Oh no, we get nothing? No instant or sorcery cards. We got Silumgar, Dread Wanderer, and Emrakul the Promised End with one land type. So that was awful. Okay, Ashiok's not dead here, but not particularly healthy either. Oh, great. We knew about Dread Wanderer. Please don't find Island. The thing is, if they can steal Ashiok, that becomes really rough. So if they have 5 mana here, that's one thing we can look at. Okay, they get a bunch of creatures into play, no land. Just a ton of vampires, though. This is a zombie, thankfully. And I believe they should just go after us. Maybe they're going to activate the Bloodline Keeper, which is fair enough, but we're pretty low here, I would say. There's the black source. The black source is really nice. Maybe we'll even get a creature eventually. And now I'm not even sure what we're supposed to kill. Killing Drana looks like it's a necessity. But killing Bloodline Keeper is also a necessity. Activate only if you control 5 or more vampires. Jace, so maybe what we can do here is kind of put them off the scent by bouncing Drana, but then they can flip Bloodline Keeper. Oh, it's so awful. So we could bounce Bloodline Keeper. We have to kill Bloodline Keeper eventually. So I think we just bite the bullet and do that now. And then we'll be taking 8 damage. Finally we find some creatures off of that business. And the other option is just to get this Jace out there. So if they come after us, it's not so bad. Yikes, that was a terrible turn to go after the Sin Collector. And possibly just terrible that we put it in our deck at all. And they get 1 vampire. I think we're still okay here. Use this to block. And then if they don't go after Ashiok, we could get a blocker. They replay Bloodline Keeper, but it'll be a while before that can flip. Everything comes at us. And then we can start bouncing things. Have to block here. Oh, we're so low though. So we're down to 2. And we only have so many answers here. Bounce 1 creature. Make a blocker. Kill a creature. Bounce. Kill. Make a blocker. And maybe that's not even enough. So what could we do for 6 mana in our deck? That's another question. Okay, well, it turns out we don't have enough to do, obviously, and Spawn of Mayhem is just going to kill us anyway, even if they let it survive. So we have to brainstorm here. We have to brainstorm to get really lucky and find like Sower of Temptation or something. So let's go ahead and brainstorm. And opposition, I don't think that does it. Ugin would have been nice if we had long ago done Worn Power Stone over Sin Collector. Maybe that would have been okay. Going to 1 life means Spawn of Mayhem's really bad. Oh, it's so tough. Tell you what, I think we have to go to 1 life. Get an island. So this goes back on top. And Ugin goes back on top. And then we can -4. To get Spawn. Go ahead and play the Worn Power Stone and go to 1 life and kill something. The best part of this would be if they didn't attack and they tried to have our own spawn kill us, but then we'll like kill our own spawn before our upkeep. So I don't know. But if they attack with everything, we're just dead, so that won't matter. 3 things attacking, all 4 attacking, all at us, and there's no way to get out of this. So thanks for watching. We got one of the matches in the finals. It was a slaughter, but this one, not so much. Good luck in your drafts.